Hey, good morning, you guys. How is it going? You know what it is, what time it is. It's already Thursday. I don't know where anything went, but it is fascinating. It is fun. Today is March 20th, 2025, and I hope you guys are enjoying your day, your week leading into the third week, soon to be the end of March coming up. It things are going well. Last night I got another potential client for the 5 a.m. club, and that's my beautiful wife. And she's around this house somewhere. I think she went outside to take in fresh air and nature, but she's doing it her own way, which I totally love. But fascinating part with me is that I was thinking about something yesterday because we have a lot that's going on in this world, and um one two I was off on Tuesday. I had to go to the VA to get some medical work done, and I was thinking about just the human body, and what hit me like, I don't know what it is, like a boom, like a bolt of lightning. It was about the deconstructing of our daily life for success and what YouTube has done for us overall. And it's wild because there are so many segments of great importance if you just see it. The relationships that are formed, the communities that are built on YouTube for the various and different successes. Whether you look at Dodash and the work that she's doing, Dante London, Empowering Living, Selena the Celestial, Nadia, lyrics. I mean, I can just go on from small YouTube content creators to Mr. Beast, who is phenomenal in his own right. Each and every one of these men and women are phenomenal in their own right through YouTube and technology. Its platform, we have been able to create this YouTube channel to share our lives in a way that you wouldn't believe. And as I was watching this on Tuesday, I saw a deconstruction that each and every one of us um, provide one another in sharing how we do things. Now, here's the thing. Here's the ticket. Uh, I think I said good morning to you guys, so I want to make sure I preface that once again. CEOs, and you know what that means: creators, entrepreneurs, high-level operators. Get that out the way. Now, what if I told you the way that you approach your daily life is really actually slowing you down? You know, most people are just moving at this quick, fast, rapid pace that they never take time to break things down. And when I was sitting there, I remember when I was growing up as a little kid, my grandpa, uh, what a clock didn't work in a house. And so he took his tool bag or whatever tools he had, and he took the clock down and he broke it down and spread everything out, every piece to that clock. And he found what thing that wasn't working, and he put that thing back together, did the twist of the little key, because he always had the little key set up somewhere, and the clock started working again. And I was amazed by it. So today, I'm going to show you how deconstructing your daily habits can help you reach your goals faster. So, you know, let's get to work. That's what YouTube is paying them, most of you guys, for creating small YouTube channels, helping people to see where their lives can get back on track if it got derailed. And the reason why I say that, because if you've seen Mr. Beast, there was one episode where people, there were two tracks and it was this huge locomotive, this train, and people had to make a decision whether to switch it to save people's lives or to save something material. It was a wild concept, but that's the aspect of deconstructing your life. If you are finding yourself being zooming right along, how do you slow that down? In the concept of deconstruction, the thing is breaking big tasks down into smaller actionable steps. That's the beauty of YouTube. That's what I love about the 5 a.m. Club and the power of the 2020 formula by Robin Sharma. He gives you 3 steps that you need to do if you to be a part of this program. 20-minute workout, 20 minute of reflection or meditation, and then 20 minutes of growth. And what it does for your life in that 1 hour time period, it helps to clear so many things up. Physical health, your mental aspect of it, as well as growing, your mindset, your heart set, your health set, as well as your soul set. Your 4 interior empires turn you into something very dynamic. So for me, when I started my YouTube journey and I started building over, I think this is about my fourth or fifth month, relationships with other YouTube subscribers of like mindsets, or maybe not even so like mindsets, but something made us connect. It has grown, but I don't want things to grow so out of control for myself and this journey that I'm on with YouTube that I can't be able to relate to folks. And I think that's some people's goals. One of the coaches I listened to on Instagram, that's what she was saying. She has like over 100,000 some odd subscribers or whatever. And someone had asked her, how do I get that same amount of subscribers? And I needed like in 30 days. And she said, you don't understand how long it took me to build this. And sometimes that's the process that we're in. Why we need to deconstruct, our mindset is as well as our heart set and our health set, as well as our soul set, is so important, because you then will take time. And I say this almost like when you have a little baby or a little child and you wiggle their toes. Sometimes it's necessary to wiggle your toes, feel your knees, touch your tummy, just your body, to make sure everything is working. And when you do that in that 20-minute period of reflection, by closing your eyes and hearing, like I told you, I have meditative music on sometimes when I'm doing my shows, listening to that. Then see if you can hear if you're working with someone else, hear them breathing, or like my Roddy, I hear her breathing or doing something, or I might hear something else going on in the house, and connect to those things. They're very important. But the problem is that a lot of people try to tackle all things at once. What leads to a lot of times stress or inefficiencies. You already know what I'm about to say. Once you have stress or inefficiency, then guess what kicks in? Cortisol, that fear hormone that's inside of us. Or you get angry, or you get disrupted, instead of taking something and just setting it to the side. Solution, deconstruction. Once you start breaking down habits and tasks or goals into smaller, easier to execute actions, life becomes bearable. You're able to breathe. You don't feel like you're being smothered or suffocating, or just can't get things done. And what the analogy I like to use, think of it like an assembling furniture. If you don't follow the step by step guide, you'll waste time. You'll get frustrated. Guess what? You'll have more screws left at the end. And you'll be wondering, like, the hell did I just put together? But taking time out and helping those of you, like I help, like helping myself, helping you to relate to that CEO mindset of a creator, an entrepreneur, a high level operator. Don't just work hard. We don't just work hard. What we end up doing, we work smart. and simplify our processes. And sometimes that's basically what this means is getting back to basics. I told you guys in my work that I do as an administrative officer, at the bottom of my either emails or messages that I send out, I have four words. That's always use best practices. Next is to communicate. I'm big on empowerment. And then finally, teamwork. Those things help me whenever an issue or something comes up, whether I'm talking to another fellow executive member or if I'm even talking to one of my employees. I implore those things because the department that I work with in the government has five core pillars for every employee. Now, when you're an exec manager, you have seven, but the five are communication, customer service, representing the agency, teamwork and cooperation, and technical proficiency. So over my 20 plus years, I have started seeing that every time I talk to someone, I'm always going to either one of those, my four personal ones or the four professional ones that were created by them. This is what lends to the steps, practical steps for deconstruction of your day. Identify that big goal, that thing that you want, like this cup of coffee. I need to take a drink right now, so give me a moment. Basically, that's what you're doing. You're picking one goal, whether it's in your health, your career, your YouTube growth, etc. Whatever it is that you choose to do. Right now, this morning is 5 a.m. club, for which I can only feel my wife around the corner. I hope she don't mind me speaking about her, but I'm gonna see if she wants to come over and look in the camera towards the end. But I think she already told me no. But those are your areas. Then simply ask, what's stopping me from achieving this? You guys know that I love to day trade. You know, that's what I start finding out, man. Once I deconstructed, kind of like what my mentor, this young 26-year-old multimillionaire, was telling all of us in the inner circle for 2025. I was like, I got to get on my stick because I've given so much attention over to YouTube that I forgot about another source that will help me fulfill the goals that I want. You know, further on down the line. I told you, got a 4 year plan because I got a new administration and the White House is that is doing things and is making people feel a certain kind of way. So I'm putting mine into play now. So, if your goal is to post a YouTube video consistently, but your struggle, with time, deconstruct your process. Writing, filming, editing, uploading. You already know 5 million on my part. I'm at about 130. It's going to be 131. I know I have work to do, so I can't procrastinate and get down if I don't do something. I can't, I already know I don't let nobody get me down. I just do what Chauncey likes to do. So, as a CEO like myself or CEO 369 Consulting, I told you guys I'm moving during the daytime and I'm trying to tap in this way. It may not be for everybody, but you have to figure yours out. Break it down into micro actions. That becomes the coolest part about this. Write down 3 steps you can take daily. Example, if your goal is to read more books, now that can be fascinating. That definitely picking up a book will help you do some awesome things. Start with 10 pages a day instead of trying to finish a whole book in a week. You know what I mean? You will find so much more personal mastery when you do things like this because you are really given time to it. And afterwards, just use the simple rule. If the task or what it is that you're doing seems overwhelming, break it down until it feels easier. So in math, we call it lowest common denominator. You know, and then just continue to range. That's the beautiful part about 369 of CEO 369. I start implementing that number in things that I do. The three, I would give a moment of three. Say, I'll just do three push-ups in my workout, three sit-ups, three squats. I'm done. That's smoothing my body. Some people think you got to do 100 jumping jacks and all this stuff. You just got to get your body moving. When it comes to meditation, that deep breathing process. I told you guys I love the Navy SEAL breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 8, exhale for 4. Get your focus. That's the beauty of doing these things, breaking things down in the simplest terms so that you can connect your conscious mind with your subconscious mind to accomplish the things that you truly appreciate. You might be hearing Zuri huffing and puffing. She just doing a thing. She realizes that we have a newbie in the 5 a.m. club, and she might be wondering like, what is Mama doing up so early? But she joined the club. I appreciate her for it. So create a 15-minute execution plan. That's another awesome thing. If you create this using time, you know, in the 5 a.m. club, it's the 20-20-20 formula, which is 20 minutes, using setting aside 15 focus minutes every day to deconstruct and tackle one small step. An example, you want to improve your leadership, spend 15 minutes each morning reading, listening to a podcast on the subject of your choice. That's a beautiful thing. I showed my wife yesterday, also on Tuesday, being part of as executive management team for the program that I work for. Within law enforcement, they started, those of us that are non-law enforcement, they started an executive management program for us to will help us to grow in our careers. Well, 2 more years, and my desire is to transition to something totally different. But I took their exam, and it came back. It was a 42-page document about me. Chauncey personally said, "This is your results," and so I'm gonna enjoy reviewing that in its entirety. But I was blown away by what I was initially reading it, and it's similar to the Myers Briggs or Briggs Meyer program. But hey, who knows what I can get out of it? I want to improve in my life. I want to, have that leadership aspect to what it is that I do. So I have to be willing to uh, put myself through those tasks or those programs if I want to elevate my program. And I ask that of you. If there's something that you're doing, and again, in this month of March, you know what I talked about last week, we're getting ready to push into the spring season. Drop it in the comments. Some of the things that you do as you get yourself ready to go out to start your day and how you begin it. Drop it in a comment. The funniest part, I know I see, Top Dog in sales. I see him on quite a bit, as well as Nemo 504. Those guys are, to me, seem like the hardest working people on YouTube. I guess that's who I'm tapping into or see coming through my feed. You know, encourage daily review. This is kind of like helps us to come to the end. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what's one thing I broke down and executed successfully? That would be something that once you see that, you'll start tapping into other things on that level. So, uh, what I like you to do, I want to give a challenge, call to action to you guys. Pick one thing today, one habit, one goal, break it down into three simple steps, drop them in a comment, and let's build that CEO mindset together. I want to reinforce the power of deconstruction. Success isn't about doing more; it's about doing things smarter, and it all starts with breaking it down because your words become a thought, and your thoughts, once you start putting them out there and applying things to what it is that you want to do, um, it all starts with you breaking it down. So, as far as I'm concerned, you know my foundation across the board. Everything that I do it with honor for myself. And that's what I ask you to do. Honor yourself. I then put love into it. And I ask you to put love into what it is that you do. And then also, finally, I respect, those the things that I do. So I would ask that you do the same for yourself. Apply that respect for yourself in your life. And as my mentor Robin Sharma would always say, if you own your morning, you will elevate your life. You guys have a fantastic Thursday morning, noon, or night, and we'll talk again in our next session. All right, take care. Bye.